This is a siege. It's a goddamn siege.
The journalistic style reviews of Mr. Marcus Pearson.
Introducing you to the Mark Pearson YouTube channel.
Here's Mark Pearson on another amazing review.
You're watching the Mark Pearson YouTube channel, the greatest YouTube channel ever! Man, I really need to get that updated. That's really quite old. Yes, the BritRest intro. Haven't done one of these for a very long time. I haven't done a BritRest one. It's because, well, there isn't a reason, to be honest. I just haven't. You have to take notes and things and pay attention to results and things like that if you're going to do a review, do you not? Which I've done today, so that's good. I attended PCW's Tribute to the Troops show today. An interesting concept. But before we talk about the concept, let's talk about PCW. Obviously, as you can probably tell the fact I'm doing a review of them, things have cooled and warmed and all is love between me and PCW, I hope, these days. I've attended 4 of their shows this year, each one better than the last, in my opinion. The last one I got meant to meet Terry Funk. So they could have put on no wrestling at all. They literally could have had guy come out, lie down, and get pinned, and I would have given it 5 stars and go, fucking yes, happy days, I met Terry Funk. Don't care, met Terry Funk. But no, that's not been the case, because it seems fantastic. My match of the year so far was Chris Travis versus Prince Devitt 2 at the last PCW show that I went to. God, Jesus, goddamn, it was so very good. So yeah, relations are cordial, and I get on as well as I can do with Fludder, and I always have make time to chat with him, and it's all good. The concept, a free wrestling show in the middle of the city centre as part of the Armed Forces Day. You may think to yourself, a free show, sure, that's a money, a money loss, a money pit, if you will, if I've ever heard one, but think about it. I was talking about this with some friends last weekend, and then Stephen Flood put a thing for his newspaper column up with confirming what I thought, which was that he could spend X amount on advertising, or he could put on a free show, but admittedly he puts it out of his own pocket, so it's not free to him, but the amount of people that are going to be there anyway means that you're going to get lots of free advertising, and people who might never ever watch wrestling, or might have used to watch wrestling, will be there and go, oh yeah, wrestling, I used to like that, and watching it, oh, that's really good, hang on, but these guys are just over the road, well, might give that a try, you know? And then of course, booking some imports on the show is never going to harm either, is it? Putting Chris Masters and Carlito on the show as well. Chris Masters are pretty much regular, these guys, and they've never seen Carlito before, and he was an interesting one. We'll get to him in a short while. So, it was very interesting setup. It was weird seeing a wrestling ring in a fucking city centre square. It was cool though. It was novel. It was nice, and people were allowed to sit on the apron before while various other festivities. Some guy shooting a machine gun off and all that, and that was all fun. And then you put erected barriers. I got probably the best view of anyone there, probably for me. I got right on the corner of the entrance. Like bam, no ring post, no nothing. I was happy as a pig in mud. Surrounded by my nearest and dearest. It was great. Opening contest is Martin Kirby defeating Noam Dar in an entertaining match. Noam Dar brought Darth Vader out with him. There was a guy there dressed as Darth Vader. He had some stormtroopers with him. He has got a t-shirt. It's got Yoda on it, Yoda. He's also got a Star Wars one, so it was entirely appropriate with him coming out. Never going to be a bad match, these two. Dar got a choke, used the Force to choke out Martin Kirby. Martin Kirby sold it like an absolute pro as well, which was fantastic. Made it for a very entertaining match, or entertaining spot even. He broke the Force choke, hit a really nice enziguri and got the win. I think there's a little story going on where no one has lost a lot of matches over the last year or so, and a big heel turn's coming, so he had his tantrum afterwards, which was really fun. Next up was my match of the night. Oh, in the middle of that match, before I go on, I'm sorry, I my way of writing notes just to send a friend who's not at the show who wants to know the results of each of the freaking thing. So I actually got my phone resting here with all the text open on it. Anyway, while that match was in progress, my attention was diverted for a couple of minutes because if you can see a Spitfire fly over and it just doesn't stir the soul and make you ridiculously patriotic and go, that is the best thing I've seen this year. I don't know. It blows my mind when I see something like that. It's crazy. I'm meant to be watching the wrestling. The Spitfire goes over and you're just like, oh, that is just amazing. Anyway, next match of the night for me as Dave Mastiff defeating Zach Diamond Gibson, who was a substitute for Cyanide in a really, really good match, actually. It was meant to be Cyanide versus Mastiff, like I say. I've seen that match twice at Future Shock now, expecting the third one to be absolutely amazing, as you can probably imagine. But when Sinai, for whatever reason, I don't know, had to pull out, when they announced Zach Gibson, it's like, oh, there we go. My second favourite wrestler, bam. And it's like, hang on, he's never worked for Preston before. I wonder if he'll come out as a heel. And he's like, please come out as a heel, please come out as a heel, please come out as a heel. Okay, as a heel. Like, yes, I know this match is going to be fucking brilliant. Of course, because you can do little things like when you're a scouser with a great big liver bird on your pants, you can bring up the Luis Suarez chanting. It's like easy heat. It's so simple. The thing is, Zach is so good in the ring as well. This match was, oh my God, he worked Dave Mastiff's arm for so long. And you know me, that's just gold to me. And Dave sold it like an absolute pro. Absolutely fantastic, but was able to rally, counter, and hit a beautiful cannonball for the win. Next up, Chris Travis defeating El Ligero in a match that, while good, it's one of those matches where you watch it. I think this for me was one of the the whole card looked good, but this for me was one of the selling points of the show, because it was one of those, that will be great. That will be a great match. And while this was a good match, it wasn't a great match. It's one of those, I think it's because, I think maybe one of the problems is that these two are so good that your expectations are so high for them. Does that make sense? This was by no means at all a bad match. I thought it could have been better. I think if this had been a standard PCW show, I think this would have been a better match. Does that make sense? With a bit more crowd behind it. Does that make sense? It wasn't bad. I promise you, not saying it was bad. Travis wins with a Tiger Bomb. Next up was a weird one, because it was the debuts of Lana Austin and my old friend Jenna, who I've wanted to see for such a long time. I've been really looking forward to seeing Jenna. And I'd been chatting to Jenna before the match, and she had a Preston North End shirt on because she's originally from Preston. So you started going, well, you're going to be the hometown girl, then, aren't you? And I was really looking forward to seeing the match. And then Jenna came out, and she was announced as being from Blackpool. And it was one of those, so you're the heel then. And the way that Lana had come out, it's like, she sort of skipped to the ring and had a big smile on her face and did the kiss that she does. It's like, so she's the babyface. And they started wrestling, and there was nothing wrong at all. Lana hit a really nice Hurricane Rana, put Jenna down right on the back of her head. It's like, damn, that's nasty. But then the team of Tassel Madness, which is Danny Hope and Madman Manson, come out, and they interrupt the match. And basically Manson wants a catwalk off, a strut off, if you want to call it that. And it was, I don't know, man. This felt strange. This felt awkward. Because I wanted to see, listen to me, women fight. I wanted to see these two girls go out. I'll tell you what I wanted to see more than anything. I wanted to see these two girls beat two lumps and two shades of shit out of each other. Beat lumps out of each other. Really batter each other. And then, I don't know, this was just weird. And then, in a really strange part, it turned into a tag team match, and it was Manson and Hope against the two girls, and they both rolled up the girls and beat them. And it was just, I don't know what, this is one of those things, it's one of those, I just don't know. It was all kinds of strange. Anyway, I can say I've seen Jenna wrestle now, if nothing else, because I've wanted to see her for so long, and I've always said, oh yeah, I'll definitely come and see her, I'll definitely come and see her. And it's never been the right time, or no one's wanted to come to a show with me, or something like that, so it's just never happened, And I'm really looking forward to seeing her, and she didn't. So anyway, Bubblegum defeating Dean Ormoc in a good match to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Dean Ormoc is a ridiculously underrated guy, I reckon, and I don't think there's anyone in wrestling that I can think of who takes a beating better than Dean Ormoc. Does that make sense? That guy makes you feel for him. Nice stuff in this one. High flying stuff. Dean getting a really nice moonsault. But team single, which is Rampage Brown and T-Bone coming out for the distraction. And one pedigree later, and Gum retains. PCW had a big announcement to make on the show. You sat there, they've been saying, look, we've got something, it's massive. We've got something huge lined up. And you sat there going, of course, in wrestling, there's always a lot of hype, and there's always this is the greatest thing ever, and this is the greatest thing ever. And the next week, it's like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then, of course, it's, you sort of, when they do announce stuff, you just go, no, oh, right, okay, that's nice, I suppose. Okay. But, this was an interesting one. I hand on heart promise you this. Me and Max, who went to the show with me, we were talking on the way up, and I said to him, so what do you think this announcement is? And he said, do you know what, I'm thinking something like Goldberg, something massive, just one big name. And I said to him, do you know, I've got this feeling. And I said that they've used the Ring of Honor tag team championships this year, and they've had the TV champion over, and they've also had the world champion over, and they've got the world champion next month as well. I said, I got this feeling, I'm probably going to be so far off the mark, it's not even funny, but I think they're going to do a PCW versus Ring of Honor Super Show. And I promise you, I swear that's the truth. That was around Knutsford on the motorway, on the M6. I said that. And he's like, yeah, fucking, it's probably going to be something that you just go, oh, that's cool. But nothing near as major. So, yeah, I was made up about that. That's going to be a very interesting weekend, isn't it? Next, T-Bone and Rampage Brown defeating Legion of Boom. I think the tag team titles were on the line in this one. Legion of Boom is Dave Rain and former WWE guy Chris Masters. The story here is at the next show, which is the 3rd anniversary show. It's Chris Masters versus Joey Hayes for the championship. Joey Hayes being the champion. And basically, Joey and Chris Masters picked their opponents for each other. So Joey Hayes has picked Chris Masters to go against the tag team champions, and that's why Joey Hayes is defending the championship against Carlito in the main event this afternoon. So, yeah, this was an interesting one. Didn't see a lot of this one, I'm going to be honest, because Rampage Brown and Chris Masters brawled like around the crowd, if you can imagine that. Did I mention the crowd earlier on? I didn't mention the crowd, did I? Lots of people there. A lot more than I was expecting. And what the thing was, it was very impressive, was that this wasn't just people. I thought, such emergency service vehicles every time. I thought, right, there'd be people who would come up, would watch a match, and then when the match finished, they would fuck off. And I thought there'd be like a revolving cycle. I thought there would be roughly the same amount of people around the ring, but no, it wasn't the same people, if that makes sense. No, that wasn't the case. It was pretty much the same people around the whole match the whole time. And there was people joining it. And there was, wouldn't want to guess how many people, but there was a decent amount of people. So when Rampage Brown, you see, I didn't lose my train of thought there. That's good, isn't it? So when Rampage Brown and Chris Masters were brawling around the crowd, didn't really see much of them. I know 2 things happened. At least I think this is what happened. Chris Masters went through a table, I think, and then later on, you saw Chris Masters' legs go through, sort of over the top of the crowd. That was fantastic. I think he was suplexed on a stage that they had set up. So Dave Rain and T-Bone went at it. You know, it's never going to be bad with these two, is it? Dave Rain got spunked. He got thrown into some chairs and was just in a prone position. T-Bone, the look on his face was so wonderful, as everything that T-Bone does is. He comes over, it's like he had this almost like, I've got it up now. Proper spunks him on the arse. Dave Rain gets up. Now, I may have been hearing things here, but Dave gets up and says, almost as good as when your mum did it last night. And it's just one of those, I mean, I don't know, maybe no one else picked up on this. Maybe just a few of us picked up on it. But it was just one of those, oh, you're going to die now. You know that, don't you? And T-Bone absolutely died. It was so funny. Anyway, pile driver by Rampage Brown on Dave Rain gets the win. It was really nice to look. He spun around with it in there. Gorgeous. And then in the main event, or what was meant to be the main event, is Joey Hayes defeating Carlito to retain the PCW Championship. Fully expected Carlito to phone it in. I really just thought, this guy's not going to give a fuck at all, is he? You know, comes out, works nicely. He takes a big bite of his apple, spits it in Joey Hayes' face and starts laughing like, this is brilliant, I'm loving this. And that was really good. Match was all right. Wasn't really much to it because Team Single once again interfered. Joey Hayes was able to use a roll-up to get the win. And a massive brawl broke out with Team Single and Dave Rain, Chris Masters came to make the save, and Dean Allmark came out, and Bubblegum came out, and Stephen Fuller came out, nice and simple. Hey, if you're there, off you go. Did his best Teddy Long impression. Holla, holla, tag team match, guys. And they did. So Masters, Rain, Allmark, and Carlito defeat Team Single and Hayes in a fun match. Would you believe this, yeah? Masters taps out Joey Hayes with the master lock in one of those. Yeah, they don't do a lot of storyline stuff, PCW, but some of the things that they do are quite wonderful. If you've got a title match, coming up in a month's time, what better way of making your champion look like a chicken shit by tapping out to the master lock of all things? That's great stuff. I really enjoyed today. I tell you something, right? I could sit if anyone from the company is watching this, or if any PCW fans watching this, here's what I can say. I could sum up what I thought of the show, until the cows come home. I've just told you pretty much what I thought. The best I can give you guys is this, right? Is that today I took with me my best friend who loves wrestling, and he had a great time. Max came to PCW 2 years ago and hated it. Absolutely hated it. Max now loves it. He's been to all the shows with me. Loves it. Can't get enough of it. But balls to Max. It's the fact that I brought, between 2 cars, we had 5 kids with us. All 5 of them absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. But more than that, more than Max, more than the kids, is what we'll say is this: is my friend Scarlett, Max's girlfriend, came with us. She hasn't been to wrestling. The last wrestling that she came to was the show that she put on with me, our charity show. Yeah, she hasn't been to live wrestling since. Yeah, and she absolutely loved it. She bought a Jerry Hayes t-shirt. It's like she used to come to a lot of wrestling. She's been to PCW shows before. She was there for the Tozawa versus El Ligero match, for example. She loved it. She's like, we're going again, definitely. I remembered what it is that I loved about this. And then, better than that, how's this one sound? We brought a girl with us who has never been to wrestling in her life, right? Check this out. I promise you, this hand on heart is true. Laura, right, bought a Jerry Hayes t-shirt because she couldn't keep her eyes off the guy, right? She was, you know, when you're really excited and you gavel in and just, yeah, she was doing that all the way home. And then, this is so good. She got on the phone 5 minutes after she left us and gone home. 5 minutes after we got home, phone rings and she says, I've got a babysitter for August the 1st. And you're like going, August 1st? Yeah, next PCW show, I've got a babysitter. And you're just like, was it that good? And she's like, yeah. Scarlett's on the phone to her on the other side of the room, and I'm sat having a smoke out the back door, and I can hear how excited Laura is on the phone. Yeah, done good today, guys. It's one of those things that me and PCW have had our ups and downs, but I see their place in the business, and I've got so much time for them these days. And it's weird, and it's crazy, and isn't it strange how life works out like that? All right, guys, did you go to the show today? Were you there? Let me know down below what you thought. I've been Mark P. I'll be back in a couple of days because it's Money in the Bank tomorrow night, and I'll be doing a review of that. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, and good night.